Hello and welcome to the Lake District Yogi. My name's Kat and welcome to class 5 in this series, A Journey into Yoga for Complete Beginners. So if you've done the previous 4 classes, we've been learning really the basics, building on some really great foundations for our practice. Last week we looked at a couple of the really big hitters. So we looked at Downward Dog and Warrior 2. Today's class is called Finding Your Flow. So we're going to be just starting to just find some playfulness and fluidity within the poses in preparation for starting to link them together when we form a full class or when we learn how to do vinyasa, which is like a beautiful little sequence that brings fluidity between some big poses. So it links them all together really beautifully. And that's how we create this gorgeous moving meditation that we can really lose ourselves in. We can really warm into the body so beautifully. So anyway, then that's not to say that standalone poses aren't beneficial, but most yoga classes you go to will have this element of continuation and linking things. So we're going to start that today, but in a really gentle way. So rather than linking lots of poses together, we're going to go into poses and find some fluidity there. You'll see as we go along. So then next week we can start to put a full class together, which is going to be really exciting. So we're going to start today seated. So I'm just going to have a sip of tea, obviously. So while I'm doing that, or if you need to pause the video, gather anything you need. I've got a couple of blocks here. It's always useful if you have them. If not, you don't need them. And you can always fashion them out of something else. But if you were wanting to invest in anything other than obviously a really good, proper, solid, sticky yoga mat, not a camping mat or anything like that. They're just too slippery and too spongy. You want something firm and quite sticky. So other than a mat, blocks might be a really, really useful investment for you as a beginner, but it's not necessary. Also, I have a blanket here as well, which is always very useful. So let's get started. We're going to start seated. And we're going to go right into it today. I just want to get straight into the action. Okay. So we've done this before. We're planting our right hand down and we're extending our left arm to the ceiling. So we've done this side bend before. It was a beautiful way to open up the sides of the body, but we're going to add a little flow into it. So I'm actually going to move my tea and my blanket out of the way. You'll see why in a minute. So we'll plant our right hand down, extend our left arm. Remember to keep that rooted, that left hip, finding that energy to the tips of the fingers. But instead of just rainbowing over to the other side like we normally do, we're going to start to lower this left hand down a bit and then sweep it forward. Let the right arm follow and then open up here. And what you'll find is as you land on this side, the arm that is going to be alongside your ear is here. So it gives you this wonderful opportunity to open this beautiful, sort of like opening your wings, bringing this shoulder back and then finding that, and then we'll extend that way, plant the right hand down and open up like this. So find fluidity in this movement and just keep going. Find your breath, keep it nice and smooth. Don't worry too much at this point about trying to link the breath to your movement. Just keep the breath nice and smooth. And then as you're moving, feel into your body. So obviously you're probably feeling it in your waist, but maybe as you move forward and shift between these shapes, you're feeling it in the muscles of your spine, in your shoulders. How far you want to reach forward is up to you. Obviously your sitting bones will lift a little, but try not to lift them too much. Try to keep that sense of the foundations being really grounded. And enjoy this fluid movement of one arm traveling forward, followed by the other, and then opening that shoulder. Again, nothing too intense, just feel your way in. Okay, we're going to do one more round. So when you get to the end of your next one, we'll lift back up. Find that seated position, just maybe feel into the shoulders, into the waist. How is that, how does that feel already? Hopefully really nice. We're going to roll over our knees and find all fours. And then we're going to tuck the toes and sit the hips back and send the hands forward. Quite a lot. I mean, not maybe all the way into our child's pose, but quite a long way forward. Okay, we're going to find another little fluid sequence here. So we're going to come up, we're going to breathe in as we lift the hips, start to send the weight forward, and then send the weight forward of the wrists. And then as you breathe out, send the hips back. We've done this one before in one of the previous classes. And then start to add in. Lots of pops happening in my wrists and knees at the moment. So as you add in, you might, as you come forward, want to draw the chin to the chest and then extend the head forward maybe at that point. Sit back, come forward, breathing in, draw the chin to the chest. As the weight moves past the wrists, maybe lift the head a little. That just really brings another element of movement into the spine. Maybe you want to drop the belly a little and arch as you press back. So all of these are just little adjustments you can make. And then if this feels easeful, by all means try keeping going at this point, letting the hips drip all the way to the floor. Only if that feels good. You can still draw the chin to the chest, let the hips drip down, shine the heart forward, engage the core as you come back. So just draw that lower belly in as you come back. If you are doing this version, you might want to pause here, press into the earth with your hands, let that heart beam forward. It's intense on the lower back, so be really careful here. Keep that core engaged. And like I say, this is always, I'll say, your body, your practice. So only do things that feel good. If it doesn't feel good, if it feels too tight on your lower back to move the hips forward like that, then don't do it. Okay, we're going to do one more of these. And then we'll settle back into an active child. So keep the toes tucked. Send the hips right back to the heels. Send the arms forward and then lift up onto the fingertips as if you could hold like a satsuma underneath your hands. Place the forehead down and take a breath. And then another. And then let the hands flatten back down. Come back to your all fours. Slide the hand underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. Untuck the toes. Okay, we're going to step our right foot between our hands. Okay, so we've done this before, so some of this is building, some of it is new. So stepping that right foot between your hands and then sliding that back knee back as much as is comfortable. And again, I know I said this last time, but yours may look much more upright like this. I'm particularly open here. Don't forget, I've been doing this for, well, too many years to contemplate really. Okay, so think about moving your knee and foot sort of that way a little bit, sort of creating a nice solid foundation. So not on a tightrope, on rail tracks. That will help with your stability. You can keep the fingertips on the floor, or you can gently lift up, engage the core, and bring the arms overhead. So your choice. I suppose the middle is always the knee. You can always put your hands on your knee too. Okay, then wherever you are, bring the fingertips back to the floor and extend this front leg. Send the hips back. It does not have to be straight. If this knee is painful on the floor, by all means pad it with your blanket. Make this as comfortable as you can. You may need to slide your fingers back towards you a little bit. Flex this front foot. And then we're going to move between those two. So we're gently going to rebend that front leg, come back to our lunge, keep the fingers on the floor, or for additional fluidity, lift up. Bring the fingertips down, slowly extend back. And then on the breath, coming forward as you breathe in, you don't have to lift the arms overhead. Exhale, lower the fingers, push back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, fingers down, push back. Last one. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, push back. Come forward one more time, plant the hands, step that leg back, find all fours, feel into the two sides of the body. See, how does that right side feel? And then when you're ready, we'll do the same on the other side. So send your left leg through, find your optimum low lunge, Anjaneyasana. And again, keeping the fingers on the floor, or by all means, lifting the arms overhead, keeping them directly in line with the shoulders. Spread the hands, and then really reach into the fingertips. Draw in that lower belly. Okay, if you haven't already, have the hands on the floor, and then start to extend back. Go in slowly, slide the fingers towards you if you need. Keep that knee bent a little if you need to. Pad under the right knee. Do all the things to make this accessible. And then we'll flow. So we'll come forward, fingertips to the floor, or lift them up on one in-breath. Exhale, fingers down, send the hips back. Inhale, come forward, sweep up. Fingertips down, move back. So there's breath and body connection, breath and movement, synchronized and hopefully joyful. One last time. Bring fingers down, send the hips back, come forward, find your all fours. Nicely done. Feel into the two sides of the body. Okay, we're coming up into downward dog. So if you did last week's class, we did this quite slowly and in quite a lot of detail. So hopefully you've already watched that. We're going to tuck the toes, press into the hands, draw in the lower belly a little, and start to lift up into our downward dog, remembering to keep the knees bent as much as you need. Find stillness here just for a couple of breaths. Okay, so remember, top tip, if it's all feeling a little uncomfortable, bend the knees and lift the hips. Feel how that lengthens the spine, shifts the weight back a little bit off the hands. So we're going to move into a little flow from here. So when you're ready, we're going to gently touch the knees down, drop the belly and lift the gaze in one breath in. As you breathe out, start to round the spine as if you were doing cat and cow, and then lift up into downward dog. Inhale slowly, gently lift the knees, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, press into the hands, round the spine, find downward dog. Keep moving on your own breath. Gently lower the knees, drop the belly, lift the gaze. It's like a little Mexican wave moving through your body. So feel the energy as the knees drop down, the belly drops, the head lifts. Everything is becoming connected. The movement, your breath, your body. Nicely done. Anytime that you've had enough or it's too much, then by all means just find your way into child's pose and pick up with us again when you're ready. So we'll do one more like this. Gently bring those knees down, drop the belly. We'll end in our downward dog. Okay, if it is possible, we're going to walk our hands towards No, we're not. We're going to walk our feet towards our hands. If you'd rather just come to your knees, whatever, sit back and then just stand up at the front of your mat, by all means do that. That's perfectly okay. But otherwise, if you can, just start to walk your feet towards your hands. We want to end in a forward fold. So we're finding that forward fold somewhere towards the front of the mat. It doesn't have to be right at the front. Let the feet be underneath the hips. Find yourself folding. Maybe hold your opposite elbows. You can soften the knees or bend them a lot. You can find any amount of sway. And then we'll find stillness. Release the hands. Press into the feet as we roll up to standing. Okay, our next little flow is going to be from standing to forward fold and back. So I'm going to show you, we did cover it in last week's class, but I'm going to show you again the two ways of coming forward from, so Tadasana, this is mountain pose. So we sweep our arms overhead, whoops, and then there are two ways to do this. Either send the arms wide and then just hinge from the hips with a flat back, as if you're sort of diving forward. So find it, and you can soften the knees here, but the arms are wide, the back is flat until we get down to here. The other way to do it when the arms are overhead is to let the palms touch and then bring the hands down through the sort of midline of our body. So down our kind of face, chin, and then we go with it. So we fold like this with the hands, so coming down the front. So it's entirely up to you. Obviously in a crowded class or a small room, you might not want your arms going wide, so it's easier to come down through the front, but it feels really nice if you've got the space and you can get your arms nice and wide, and then you fold like this with a nice flat back. Often in classes that's called swan diving, sort of if the teacher says and swan dive forward. Personally, I never use that expression, but you might hear it. Okay, so we're in our Tadasana, our standing pose. We're rooting down through our feet, our legs are nice and engaged. We're going to raise the arms overhead and we're coming forward whichever way you like. So I'm going to start by doing arms wide, softening through the knees, finding that forward fold. Let the arms hang and then press into the feet. And just let the arms hang as you curl yourself back up. Head is the last thing to come up, and then as the head lifts, the arms lift, as if they're one, as if they're connected. Soften the knees. Float yourself back down. Find that forward fold. Soften the knees even more as you come all the way up, 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 up. Let the head and chin come last and the arms follow. Okay, I'm going to go down the midline this time. So breathing out, come forward. Your forward fold may stop much earlier than mine. It might be up here. It's absolutely fine. Just do the same movement. Pressing into the earth as you roll up. Let the shoulders come back, the heart forward, the arms lift. Exhale, fold forward, bow down to the earth. Feel that deep connection with your feet and the ground. Feel the stability of your feet, your legs which are engaged, your core which is engaged. And with this beautiful, stable container, we are able to flow. Okay, we're going to move into our last one, so make it count. Bring the breath back if you've lost it. Fold, fold. However deep or far you go, what's your natural range of movement? It's all good, all good. Press into the feet, roll yourself back up. Sweep the arms overhead, close the eyes, draw the hands down to your heart. Obviously, discernment is absolutely key. We're coming down to the ground, by the way. Discernment is key. So if you know you have a dodgy back, or if you know that you've got some old injury, be extra careful in things like that movement, but you know, strengthening the spine and finding fluidity is really important too. So it's a really important balance to get right. So just listen all the time to your body. You know, and if you're in a class situation, it's really hard, but don't look at what anyone else is doing and compare yourself to them and try to push yourself. And certainly never let a teacher tell you to push on through, or you know, you can do all that stuff. That is not, for me personally, there is no place for that in yoga. It's an exploration of your own body and finding joy in your own body, and that does not come from trying to do what someone else can do who has a completely different skeleton to you and completely different range of movement and has done yoga for longer or also rides a bike or whatever. You've no idea what else is going on in another person's body and what background they've got. All you can work on is your beautiful, gorgeous self. Okay, so we're going to find Baddha Konasana. I absolutely love these beautiful Sanskrit names for poses, which is also known as bound angle pose or butterfly pose. So there you go, there's 3 names for this. So placing the soles of the feet together. So the distance it doesn't really matter, but for this one, we're going to have them a little bit further away. And we're going to hold on to our ankles, and you'll feel as you hold on to your ankle, almost automatically you'll create that lift, little lift in the heart, little mini back bend. And then cross the hands over, so you've got opposite hands on the ankles. This sometimes messes with your brain a little bit. Okay, so take a breath in and out. Okay, keep your left hand on your right ankle. Next time you inhale, peel this right arm back. Doesn't have to go all the way back, just open it out. Feel that opening in the shoulder. Exhale, bring it back round. Inhale, open the left arm. Exhale, bring it back. Keep moving. Breathing in, you can follow it with your gaze if you want. So try as you open out to move shoulder, elbow, fingers, and let the movement reach right to the ends of your fingers. If you've ever watched Strictly, this is what they talk about in dance. It's like finishing that move all the way to the ends of the movement. So movement and breath, gentleness, grace, fluidity, but also strength. Okay, this time, as you come back, if you would like, you can sweep that arm overhead, then open out the other way, reach overhead. We'll do a few like this, really nice for shoulder mobility, really nice bit of fluidity. Okay, we'll do 2 more like that with your own breath, maybe a different speed to mine. Hopefully the shoulders are starting to feel really warm and delicious now. And then we'll pause with our hands crossed. Release them, then either hold your ankles like this or maybe your feet, and we'll just end with a little fold over those feet. Again, you can pad under the edges of your feet. If you're on a hard floor, that can be quite uncomfortable. And just take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll come up. I really hope that little class gave you an insight into how we can create that kind of dance-like playful fluidity within our yoga. It's not just about one strong pose after another. There's so much of that joy that can be generated, and it then becomes like a moving meditation, which is just absolutely beautiful. And while we just did that last move was really very much about opening the shoulders, a good yoga practice and a good yoga class should incorporate bits, should be full body, unless it specifies that this is a class for hips or a class for core. What you're looking for is a class that contains a little bit of everything. So some strength building, some core work, some balance, some twists, some standing, some seated, a full class is what you're looking for. We're looking for that holistic nourishment for our bodies and our souls and our minds. And hopefully, maybe not straight away, but hopefully you'll find that eventually within your yoga practice. And I just feel honored to be a part of your journey. If you are traveling this 6 weeks with me, I'm really pleased. I'm thrilled, because there's nothing I love more than sharing the love of yoga with people. So next week is going to be a full class. It's going to be a sort of an easy-going class, but we're going to start to link lots of things together. We'll do it gently, we'll do it carefully, and then obviously you can revisit that as many times as you want, and then when you're ready, there will be a library of other classes for you to try, and I will keep building them for, so that your yoga journey can continue. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please share it with people, like it, subscribe to my channel, and then you'll never miss another video. And from my home to yours and my heart to yours, wherever you are, I hope you are well. Thank you for practicing with me, and I will see you again soon. Bye.